Hi, friends. So, this week so far, we have been looking at character, setting, and plot. These are our three main story elements that we are going to be focusing on. So, in every story, we have characters, the people, the animals, the creatures in our story. We have the setting where the story takes place, and then we also have the plot. So today we are going to be talking about plot. Plot is pretty much just the beginning of the story, the middle or the problem in the story, and the ending, how the problem is solved. This will help you retell a story. You can say at the beginning, this is what happened, in the middle, or the problem was, and then at the end, this is what happened, or the problem was solved by. So I am going to have you listen to a story called Jill and the Beanstalk. And I found this on the website Epic. If you want to go ahead and check it out after we are done, you can check out Epic. Maybe your kindergarten teacher signed you up for it. Otherwise, I believe parents can have their kids sign up for 30 days for free. But it is a really cool resource, so you just might want to check it out. And since it is free for 30 days, if it's something you're interested in, it's always worthwhile. Or just contact your child's previous teacher and see what they can do for you. All right, here we go. We are going to listen to Jill and the Beanstalk. So it's a little different twist. Usually Jack, but today it's Jill. So I'm going to make myself disappear. All right. We're going to move this. Can we move this? All right.
Words to know before you read. Appeared, gathering, giant, harp, magic, stalk, stranger, towered, vegetable. Jill grew a huge vegetable garden. One day, a stranger appeared. He asked for a bowl of soup. Jill gave him some vegetable soup. "Here are some magic seeds for you," said the stranger. Jill thanked him and planted the seeds in her garden. The next morning, a huge beanstalk towered high into the clouds. Jill climbed up the stalk, gathering fresh beans. Soon Jill saw a castle. She heard singing coming from inside. Jill peeked inside the castle door. The singing was coming from a gold harp. "Help me," the harp cried when it saw Jill. "Who is there?" yelled a loud voice. A giant stomped into the room. "I am sorry," said Jill. "I was picking beans and heard your singing harp." "Beans? I love beans," said the giant. "You may have all you want," Jill said. The giant gobbled down the beans that Jill gave him. "My, these are sweet and tasty," he said. "And since you love my harp, you may have it." The giant handed the harp to Jill. "And please, bring more beans when you have some to share," added the giant. Before Jill climbed down the beanstalk, she thanked the giant for the harp and promised to make some bean treats for him. "It is nice to share," said Jill, as her new harp began to sing.
All right, so that was a little bit of a different version than the Jack and the Beanstalk that we know. In this story, our plot is a little bit different. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about the plot. The plot in this one starts off where Jill is planting in a garden. At the beginning of the story, Jill is planting seeds in a garden, and a little boy comes up and he wants something to eat. So Jill feeds him and he gives her these magic beans, and she plants them, and this beautiful beanstalk grows. Okay. So that is the beginning of the story. In the middle of the story, she climbs up the beanstalk and she hears a harp saying, "Help, help, rescue me." So the giant comes and he's like, "Who are you? What are you doing here?" And the little girl's like, "Well, I heard this harp, saying it needed help." And she gave the giant some beans and he really liked her beans. And at the end of the story, the giant gave the harp to the little girl because he thought she really liked the harp. And he let her take it down the beanstalk and she promised to share her beans. So we have a beginning, we have a middle of the story, and we have an ending of a story. The problem in this story, it wasn't like a terrible problem, but the harp was calling out for help. So she thought something was wrong. So she went to go check on the harp. But it ended up in the end that the giant and Jill, they became friends because Jill offered to share her beans that the giant really enjoyed. So every story has a beginning, a middle, and an ending. And you can do this with any fiction any fiction story. We cannot do it with nonfiction. So you can do this with any fiction story. So I hope you understood and enjoyed the story of Jill and the Beanstalk. Remember, this week we have talked so far about character with Cinderella Rex, setting with Too Much TV, and plot with Jill and the Beanstalk. Remember, if you want to rewatch any of these videos, you can do that. Just check out my YouTube channel or check them out in the Google Classroom. All right, great job, guys. Keep up the good work. We are done covering story elements.